All right.
Welcome to the Monday Motivation with Eric and Friends podcast with your host, Eric F. King, featuring world-class speakers, coaches, and consultants. Join us every Monday as we dive into empowering conversations that motivate, inspire, and educate entrepreneurs. Kickstart your week with valuable insights that help you not just survive, but thrive. This is your go-to podcast to start your week strong and live your best life. Let's make Mondays the fuel for your success journey.
All right. All right. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome everybody to Motivational Monday. My name is Eric. Excited to come to you again on a Monday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. We are here every single Monday. And I have the good fortune to have Leah Garcia here and Zan Anagru. And we are talking about a great topic, a topic that is on the minds of a lot of entrepreneurs, almost every entrepreneur, really. And that's the topic of how to make more sales, okay? Because that's important, right? I always say that the sales department is the most important department of your business, right? Because that's what brings in the revenue. So we're going to dive into that today. We're going to talk about it. And before I say more about it, because I know a lot about this, before I say more about it, we are going to go to our first guest speaker who will share her insights, okay, her insights on sales, on how to make more sales. All right. She hails out of California. Right now it is 4:02 in the morning where she is. And look, she has so much energy. She has more energy than me. Yes. So excited that she's here today. And she's also a black belt in karate, a third degree, which means she's very disciplined. She's very disciplined. She's very hardworking, and she knows how to get things done. Right. Right. We call her the dynasty builder because she helps people with their dynasties, right? Creating generational wealth. She helps you make money, invest money, all those things. So without further ado, let me bring on to the stage Miss Leah Garcia. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Erica of King of Collaboration. Happy Money Monday, champions. I'm fired up about today's topic. Let's talk about how to make more sales without being pushy or salesy. Some people hear the word sales and they immediately tighten the grip on their wallet. We've encountered that salesperson who comes up and so aggressively that we want to look for the emergency exit. Nobody wants to feel hunted down. Your potential client is a person, not a piñata. Don't keep hitting them until the money falls out. People love to buy, but they hate being sold. The moment they feel pressure, their wallet develops. Today, I'm going to drop 3 golden nuggets on how to make more sales. And you know what? Absolutely make more money without being chasing, convincing, begging, or performing CPR on a deal that is already dead. So number 1, if you want people to lower their resistance, show them where the exit door is. Show them early in the conversation. Say, I don't know if this is for you. I don't know if you're a right fit. Let's have a conversation and see if it makes sense, and then we can discuss the next. If it doesn't, then I will tell you that too. Don't you see how you just removed the boxing gloves and they no longer have to defend their bank account from you? Pressure creates resistance. Freedom creates honesty. When people know that they can say no, they become more comfortable saying yes. And let me tell you something, travel marching band. If you have to trap, trick, or tackle someone into doing business with you, you're not making a sale. You're creating a future cancellation. Giving someone permission to walk away can become the very reason they should stay. Never hold a client tighter than you hold. Stop trying to make every person your customer. Sometimes the most profitable word you can say is no. Number 2, and this one's big. I put a star by it. Show them the invisible invoice. Often that people say, question is, most salespeople forget to ask you. Every unsolved problem sends an invoice. may not show up right away, but missed our expenses or another year stuck in exactly the same place. The problem is the invoice is invisible until you help them see it. Nothing changes for the next 12 months. What is it going to cost you? What is waiting already? That's not saving money. That's putting a installment plan. And number 3, release the pressure, but keep the follow. There's a difference between following up someone down. Professionals follow-up sounds like, what questions would it be helpful to see another option? Pushy sounds like, are you ready yet? How about now? They've entered into the witness protection program. You may have scared them away. Persistency can pay, but pestering creates doubt. Stop sending messages that only say just checking in. Check in with what? Bring them some value, send them some information, give them a great resource. Not now doesn't mean never. It just means not yet. And Zig Ziglar said this, if you can help everything you want, if you will help enough people get what they want. But here's my upgrade. Stop chasing the money and start uncovering the meaning, and you turn pressure into permission, conversations into confidence, and service into sales. That's selling without being salesy or pushy. It's about learning how to talk faster. It's about learning how to listen. And with that, I'm excited to learn from the rest of our amazing panel, and I hand it back to you, Mr. Eric.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. That was powerful. That was so powerful. I'm sure a lot of people got a lot of great nuggets from that. And, we're just getting started, folks. We're just getting started. Welcome, Laverne. We see you. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have Coral in the house from England. Waima is here all the way from London, England as well. Harumi, welcome. Welcome to the show. Charito, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Welcome. Wow, a lot of people jumping in today. Just make sure you put a comment in there so I can shout you out. Just say hello from wherever you're zooming in from. All right. So this is getting good. And we're going to get to our next speaker right now. We're going all the way to England, right? We got some people here from England, and they're going to hear from someone right there. All right. This gentleman is a guy that helps you become famous online. Imagine that, right? People get to know you. People know who you are. They know about your business or your book. He talks about that as well, right? He's helping a lot of people. I've known him for many years, and I'm so happy that he's on the call today to share his nuggets with you. Without further ado, Annie Asong, what do you have for us today?
Good afternoon, my friends. Hopefully you can hear me properly. Now I've got my new mic set up and you can see me as well. I might be moving from now on, right? Now, of course, it's a great conversation, this topic. I think we've broached it a few times. There's always new things to add, right? Let me start this way. Look, no one here likes someone to sell to them when you don't need what they are selling. Start with that. That's big. That's called being pushy. See, as I thought of that, I thought there is a flip side, right? Many of us walk past thousands of adverts every day, never notice. Yet, when we see that one advert for what we want, we call it a solution, right? Let me try and break this down, my friends. Look, we don't like being sold things that we don't need. We don't like being sold things by people we don't know. And, we don't like being sold things when we don't want to afford it or solve that problem. So what are we to do, my friends? It's a simple one. I think I got a 4-step process I tend to go through as a business, right? Number 1, look, create a solution people need. Create a clear offer. You'd be amazed how many people turn up to marketplace and want to sell and don't know what they're trying to sell. If you don't create solutions that people need, everyone you talk to, you're going to be pushy to, because no one needs what you're selling, right? Or no one gets what you're selling. So that's number 1. Create a clear offer. Number 2, don't sell to people that you don't know. Maybe this is a double-sided snake, right? Double-headed snake. Don't sell to people you don't know need your solution. Think of that for a second, right? How do you know who needs your solution? It's quite simple. Build relationships. Get to know people. When you get to know people, then you can do what Eric taught me in his compassionate closer training, like sales coaching program. Sell like a doctor. In other words, only sell to people you know need your solution. See, when you do all those, you're not being pushy. You're offering a solution to their problem, right? But number 4, make sure that they're ready to buy. As Queen Leo was just talking about, you hassling people and chasing them down is not going to work. And many of us spend our time talking to people who are not willing to spend their money. I do books, for example. Imagine if I was talking to someone and they have absolutely no intention of writing a book ever. They haven't got a book. They haven't got a book in them. I'm just going to be selling my book writing and marketing programs to a wall, right? They're never going to say yes. And I have to get pushy. Oh, come on! You need. No, you don't need. No, if you don't need what I do, I'm happy to leave you alone. That's what I meant to sell like a doctor. Whereas if someone has a book that's not selling, if someone wants to write a book, don't know where to start, I'm there. I'll tell you what I do. I'll tell you how I can help you. That's to sell like a doctor. We can all do it. And many of us spend ages of our lives selling to the wrong people. It doesn't work. They don't get what we sell. They don't want to buy what we sell, even if they did get it, right? Don't waste time with people who, and when I say don't waste time, look, people who try and waste your time, because they'll happily say, yeah, maybe one day, oh, this sounds interesting, this sounds useful. You're going to spend months chasing them. No, don't. I do it every day, right? Don't do it. Don't be a fool like me, right? If someone's not interested, yeah, thank them and move on. Because you know them, you've got a relationship. Now you're friends, right? For those who might change their mind later on, tag along with them. Follow up. Yes, follow up. Of course you should. Maybe as Queen Leah said, maybe it's not today they don't want to buy it. Maybe tomorrow they'd be interested. But if the person does not need your solution, just leave them alone and go somewhere else, right? Go and find someone who does need your solution. They're out there. Look, this is a simple way that I don't have to push what I do on people. I listen carefully. Every time we meet, I listen to, can I help you? If I can't help you, I'm not going to sell to you. If I can help you, I'll happily, like a doctor, offer my services as a solution to your problems. That's how you sell without being pushy. Eric, now you're the sales genius amongst us, my friend. I'm always keen to learn from you. Please drop some nuggets for us.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was incredible. I love your points. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you two gave so much valuable information today. Appreciate that. All right. So I'm going to share some information. I do want to ask anybody that's listening in right now, if you have any questions, put it in the chat. Okay. Just put the word question and then put your question, because we are here to answer your questions. All right. And also, if you haven't said hi yet, just say hi in the chat where you're zooming in front so we see who you are. All right. So I'm going to share a few points with you. I've been in sales for many years, and I've been a coach, sales coach for a lot of years. And one of the things that the most important thing I would say at the beginning, at onset, is just relax when you're talking to people. Okay, relax, right? If you feel that sales is getting someone to buy something that they don't need so you can make money, then you won't do well. Right? You won't do well selling, and people won't buy from you, right? Because that's not what sales is. Right. And a lot of people think that's what sales is. So they're like, okay, I just need to push it so I can make money. No, that's not what it is. Right. What it is persuading someone to buy because the value you have will help them. Okay. So it will help them achieve a goal or solve a problem. Right. That's what it is. Right. And once that happens, it's a win-win situation. They get their result, you get paid, right? It's a win-win situation. Also, I will say too that when you go into any sales situation thinking that thinking about how much you can make or how this can benefit you, you will be very nervous, right? You will be very nervous because you're taking, right? So, for instance, think about this. If I told you to call up a friend of yours and to reach out to him and say, hey, I want to give you $500. I'm going to send it to you right now. Now, how many of you would be nervous to do that? Probably nobody. Like, why would you be nervous, right? You won't be nervous because you're giving, and they'll be happy. That they'll be happy, right? Right when you do it. But then if I told you to call that same person and say, hey, I need $500. Can you give me $500 today? Then you'll be nervous. You won't want to pick up that phone. Why? Because you're taking, right? You're taking, right? So that's it. So you have to have the right mindset before you even think of selling anything. You have the right mindset that I am giving, I'm helping. Queen Leah helps people, and you're going to hear more about what she does, in the finances, right? In the investments and stuff like that. She's helping people. When everything is said and done and you do business with her, you're in a better place, right? So that makes her confident to call people and share it, right? Same thing with Annie, right? So if you work with Annie and then you end up getting your book published and then it becomes a bestseller and then you're making money from it, you're in a better place, right? And he made it that way. That's why he's confident to share it with people, right? So I want everybody to have the right mindset. First of all, is that you're helping people. If you have a product or service that's not helping people, then don't try and sell it. You find something else. Find something else. All right. So I want to start with that. Now I want to talk a little bit about selling like a doctor, like Annie alluded to. Okay, selling like a doctor. And the whole concept is this, when you go to a doctor, right? You go to the hospital, and if the doctor came up to you and said, hey, so we have this new antibiotic that's really helping a lot of people right now. My last 3 patients, I prescribed it to them and it helped them. So I'm going to go ahead and prescribe it for you, right? And then, you can pick it up on your way out. And and then, I just wish you, I know you'll get better, and I'll see you later. Now you'll be like, wait a minute, what kind of doctor is that? The doctor doesn't know anything about me, doesn't know what my symptoms are. He just prescribed. That's what a lot of people do in sales. They meet somebody and they're like, here's what I'm selling. This is how much it is. Are you interested? And they're like, no. Well, this is weird. This sounds weird, right? That's how it feels, right? But if the doctor says, okay, so I see that you came in, you said you have a headache or whatnot. So when did it start? Right? When did it start? How, on a scale of 1 to 10, what level is it? And they're asking you all these questions, and they're checking your pulse and your vitals and all that stuff. And then when the doctor finishes doing that, the doctor said, okay, I know what it is. I know what the problem is, or at least we have a great idea. And based on what I believe it is, here is the description, right? Now you feel like, oh wow, he really cared. He cared. He asked me all these questions before he made the diagnosis, right? And now you're willing to take the medicine, right? So that's the thing. In sales, you must ask questions to find out what your prospect wants. What is it that they're looking for? What is it that will help them solve their problems? Okay. One question that I ask a lot is when you want to find out if what problems they have, say what's stopping you or slowing you down from achieving your goal, right? What's stopping you or slowing you down from achieving your goal? So now they're going to tell you the problems that they're going through, right? Now you can diagnose and then share your offer after you diagnose, and that's natural. That is a natural thing to do. You see, so that's what we talk about when we say sell like a doctor. Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to say, because I don't want to, because I could talk for hours on this topic, but the last thing I'm going to say here is this. Don't take it personally when people say no. Don't take it personally. Think about how many times have you walked into a store and you walked around, you looked at some things, but then you decided you didn't want it, and then you walked out. How many times did someone chase you down and said, "Why didn't you buy from us?" Right? Nobody does that, right? They let you come in, and they're not offended that you came in, you looked, and you left. No one's offended. So why are you offended when you meet somebody and they decide it's not for them and they leave? Why are you offended? Right? People don't buy for 1,000 reasons, right? For 1,000 reasons. And a lot of times it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do. Maybe the timing isn't right. Maybe they don't have the money. Maybe, maybe they change their mind and decide that's not what they want right now. There are so many reasons. So don't take it personally. I hear people say it all the time. I have this offer. I shared it with some people, and they said no. So I'm going to stop doing it. It's not going to work. And I'm like, really? How many people did you share with? They're like, 6 people. 6? I'm like, really? 6? Okay. So when people go into a car dealership, do you notice that more people leave without a car than with a car? More than 6? Right? So here's the thing. It doesn't matter. People will say no, and it's okay. It's okay. You just have to believe in what you're doing, believe in yourself, and believe in your offer. Okay. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And we'll talk a little bit about what we do, and I'll tell you more about what I do to help people with sales. Thank you so much, Leah. I like that. I like the the mind blowing. I love it. All right. So we're gonna keep it going. At this point, I see some questions in there. Great. Put more questions in there. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go around the room and talk about what each person does and how we help people. Okay. Let's do that. Yeah. So let's start with Queen Leah, then Annie, then I will share exactly what I do to help people, and then we will get to your questions. All right, Queen Leah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Eric. I'm Leah Garcia, the Financial and Legacy Strategist. I help business owners turn financial complexity into one clear protection strategy so they can protect, grow, and transfer their wealth with ease. I believe your dynasty is only built through your prosperity. Your wealth today should become your dynasty tomorrow. I have a business box, which is like an interactive website. You can download my free ebook, The Wall of Wealth. You can download Magic Maverick and the Treasure Map. I also host Wealthy Wednesday every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we talk about all things money. And oh my gosh, Godfather.
Annie.
Let's hear about you and what you do.
Of course. Look, my friends, I am the author's best friend. So I'm the one for everyone who wants to write a book. Someone who's written a book, can't sell it, I'm the guy for you. And if you've written a book and you need to sell more, of course, if you need to publish a book as well, I'm the one who's going to help you publish a book. Basically, I help people who create unique solutions to write their book, sell their book, market the book, and become guaranteed Amazon #1 bestsellers. But, there's a lot of things that go into what I do. Of course, hosting events for authors is part of that. And there's many. They say we have other initiatives, for authors on stages, and in bigger events, and to get speaking opportunities, especially linking with someone like Eric as well with studiospeaking.com. I'm sure he's going to tell us about it in a second. Look, if you're an author, you have author dreams, let's talk. I'd love to see how I can support you on your journey. That's me, Eric.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You see what I'm saying? They both have something to share, something that helps people, right? That's why they're proud of sharing it all the time. All right. So today I'm actually going to talk more about my sales coaching and how I help people in that arena, because that I've been doing way longer than even the studio stuff that I do. Okay. So let's talk about that. I help entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants. I help them to sell their offers without being pushy or salesy. Something that a lot of people have, they have a problem with. Sometimes people think, hey, I'm not a salesperson, I'm just an entrepreneur. Well, you are a salesperson, right? But you just have to look at it in a, like I said, from the positive lens of helping people. Okay. So I help people through that. I help a lot of people through. I've been doing that for years. I help you not just know what to do, but give you a process, right? A sales process, a sales strategy, and how to obviously make more money with it. What I'm doing right now is, for those of you that are interested, I'm actually doing an audit call, which is where I get on a Zoom with you and we can actually talk about your business. You tell me what strategy that you're using right now and how you're selling, or even if you're not selling, you tell me what you're doing, and I will give you some tips. I will give you some tips free of charge, Now, if you want, you can work with me after that. If not, that's perfectly okay. But I am here to give, if you're listening to me right now, I'm here to get on a Zoom with you and do that sales audit. But there's more, right? So if you I'm gonna put a link in the chat right now. If you click on it, you will get my free ebook. Okay, you'll get my free ebook on persuasion, on influence and persuasion, because I'm sure you'll all agree that the most successful people in the world are great at influence and persuasion, right? And then I'm also going to give you 5 tips to be able to sell to basically 5x your sales. Okay, so I'm going to give you a tip. And then if you choose to, again, like I said, you can book your call. Okay, so go to compassionatecloser.com to get that. And I'm going to put it in the chat. All right. So that's what I want to share. And Nicole, if you can put that in the chat as well, that would be great. All right. So let's get to the questions. Thank you, Weimar, for summarizing everything we said here. I love it. Let me put it there. You see, those are team players right there. That's great, right? That's great. I love it. I love when people engage. They come here and then they engage, right? Help other people. That's very good. All right. So let's see. I know there are several questions here. Okay, so Wyman, I'm going to go with you first because hey, you contributed, so let's help you. Let's go with you first. Overcoming objections, or do you just walk away after the first rejection? Okay, I guess your question is, do you overcome the objection or walk away after the first objection? Oh, okay, well, we'll address it. Let's address it. Leah, go first, and then Annie, and then I'll talk about it. Go ahead, Leah.
Yes, I appreciate the interaction, Yuma. We appreciate that so much. This is a really good question. And really, it's going to come from, are you really finding out their need? If you find out their need, you're going to hear their objection as really just a request for more information, right? So unless they said, no, I don't want this, go away, leave me alone, then we're going to leave. But generally, people want more information, and that's what you're listening for. You're tuning your ear to that. What do you say to this incredible question?
I totally agree with you. Again, I learned in Eric's coaching that an objection is normally something that they're looking for, something more off, right? Maybe something different, right? Now, I think the trick is to listen very carefully and see whether the objection can be overcome, whether you can work with it, basically. Now, so it's something. There's people who object for different reasons, and I can't afford it is one of those. And now you'd be surprised. Some people, you're talking to the wrong person half the time, right? They can't really decide to make that purchase or not. So you have to really listen and then work out what is the objection. Again, Eric taught me to always ask the question. So if we solve this, is that all you need to say yes and go and make your purchase? And they'll normally tell you what the real reasons are at that stage, right? Maybe I just talk to my husband and say like, okay, Eric has a whole script of how you talk, to the other person who's not there. Listen to the objection, see if you can work with it. Otherwise, I guess this goes back to the fact they need your help. They're just saying no right now. That's not sure of it. Eric, please fill in the gaps of where I left for you to sort of help us understand more.
Sure, no problem. Okay. Okay. I was looking at another question. I was already gone further. I'm supposed to focus on this question. That's funny. Okay, so here's the thing. Expect people to have objections. Expect it. Most people never buy instantly. They have questions, right? So it's a good thing If someone just says, "Oh, that sounds good, I'll get back to you," you have no idea what they want, right? So we don't want that. You want people to have questions, because the questions let you know that, okay, they're thinking about this, and if I answer the question, then possibly they'll buy, right? So the question, so definitely, when someone says no, don't just walk away. You don't want to handle the objection, and don't dismiss it. I hear people do that a lot. They just dismiss it like it's not important. Like that's the last thing you want to do. Don't dismiss the objection. You have to handle the objection. And if it, like I said, if it's not for them, it's okay. Don't get defensive. Don't get defensive. Just overcome the objection. If it's not for them, it's perfectly okay. If it is, it's okay as well. All right. Great question. All right. So let's go to another question here. This is from Coral from across the pond. She says, "How can someone sell confidently without making clients feel pressured?" Very good. And I'm glad you're asking us this, because I love to hear the perspective of others. So it's not just me, because there are different ways, right? It's not just one way, right? So let's go with Queen Leah and then Annie, and then I'll jump in.
Yeah, I think this is a question for Eric F. King of Collaboration, but I'm going to add my $2 million cents. I would say you've got to be confident in what you're sharing with people. You got to feel like you're an evangelist for what you do. When you are confident, then that confidence is going to transfer to them, and they're not going to feel pressure. They're going to feel your energy, your enthusiasm. I don't care if I'm buying a mug or a paper clip. The person that I'm buying from, I want them to be excited about that mug or that paper clip. So I believe that will relieve some of the pressure. What do you say to this incredible question from our good friend Coral from across the pond, Mr. Annie?
Great question, Coral. Look, your confidence or your lack of confidence shows in certain parts of the conversation, right? Not understanding your product or your service properly. Not understanding the person you're talking to need. Can you solve that problem? If you can solve that problem, even if you're not confident, you probably still pull the sale off, right? I'm saying literally, it's about knowing that what you have, what you do, is a solution that person needs. With that, walk tall and tell them what you do. Tell them how you can help them. Tell them what the work can look like after they spend time and money with you, right? After they try your solution. A lot of us lack the confidence to say the number. How much does it cost? Are you ready to buy? These are the bits where we crumble. We're like, can I close this sale? You have to ask them eventually. Do you want what I do? Yes or no? Don't. If you say that with lack of confidence, they can see through you. I say the other parts in there. How much does it cost? No. No. Say the price with confidence. Otherwise, they will see you as not being sure. And no one likes someone who's not confident. Eric, please,
Awesome.
grace us with your genius on this one, my friend.
Thank you. No, both of you did an incredible job. Those are great responses. And I'll just give you a tip. When you meet somebody, you want to set the stage, right? You want to set the stage. One of the things you want to tell them is that it may not be for them. And I know people, when I say this to people, like, what? Why would I say that? Hear me out. If I meet with you and we're talking, and I say, well, we're gonna go over everything that I do for about 30 minutes. We'll see, if it's a good fit or not. If it's not, perfectly okay. And then I start talking. Do you know how comfortable you are now because I said that? Like you're like, oh wow, he's not desperate to sell me. Okay, now you open up to me and tell me what you're looking for, right? But if I start by saying, yeah, so today, Leah, I'm gonna share with you what I do, and I know you're gonna love it, and I know you're gonna buy it because you need it. Whoa, she's gonna say, what? I don't need it right now. I don't. She may actually end the call and say, what? Let's talk about this later, right? Exactly. So one of the things that will show, number one, your confidence and will make your prospect feel at ease is when you do what we call the takeaway, right? I don't even know if this is for you, right? This may or may not be for you, right? After we talk, after I share what I do, then you can decide if it's for you or not. That is gold. Write it down, folks. Write it down, because 90% of people do not start that way. 90% of people do not start that way. All right, so I hope I helped you there. All right, so let's keep going. Let's keep going to the next question. All right, here's a good question. By the way, folks, if you want to put a question in there, just put it in here. Just put question and then put in the question. All right. Welcome, Amaka. Welcome. Good to see you. Congratulations. I saw that I think you graduated again. Like you have multiple degrees. So I think that's what I saw, right? Yeah, yeah. Congratulations. And I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing okay. All right. Okay, so here's the question. Are there questions by Coral? Are there questions I can ask to help uncover what a client really needs? Oh, a good question. Are there questions I can ask to help the prospect uncover what they really need? All right, so I'm gonna go with Leah, and then Annie, and then I'll share something. Go ahead, Leah.
I love this question. And I'm not going to say that there's specific questions. That's Eric's expertise. But what I would say is this: as you're doing for your presentation, look for that moment when you see them change their energy. They start to lean in. You watch their body language. That's when you know you've hit that button. And when you hit that button, guess what? You're going to drive that pain for deep. Talk about it more. Give an example. Give a client story, a success story on, or maybe share a story about how you were struggling with that, and then how you came through the process. Incredible question. Drop some golden nuggets on us, Mr. Any.
Yeah, again, I totally agree with you. There's no preset questions necessarily. I tend to focus on having a conversation, having a real conversation. As Eric said, stay calm. Don't be rushed. This is not a timed event. This is the building relationship stage process, right? So now have a normal conversation. Get to know who they are. Get to know what they do. Get to know what they're struggling with. Sometimes you can just ask the question. How can I help you? Because they're chosen to talk to you, right? How can I help you? And then see, some people are blatantly honest and say, right, here's what I'm looking for. So some people, it just takes longer to decode what they're trying to say, right? But it's literally, learn to listen. Let's have real conversations with people. Eric, please, that's always my friend. Help
Very
us
good.
learn.
Very good. Very good. Yes. So there are several questions to ask. Some of them will be determined by your industry, but then some of them are more universal. So one of the universal questions is, when you ask somebody what is their number one goal. So for instance, if you want to write a book and you meet with Annie, and Annie asks you, okay, regarding your book, what is your number one goal? Right. So you want to know what is the number one goal. Let's say the book a call to talk to you, right? You say, okay, what inspired you to book a call today? In other words, you want to know what they're looking for, right? Because remember, like I said, sell like a doctor, you want to diagnose them first, right? Another great question, and I think I alluded to it before, is what is stopping you or slowing you down from achieving that number one goal, right? Because now you know the problems they're facing and how you can solve it, right? So those are a few questions that you can ask. I mean, and like Leah said, there are hundreds of questions really, but those questions I think are more universal, where you ask those questions, they know you care. By the way, when you ask questions, that shows how much you care. Because if you don't ask questions, then it's about you, it's not about them, right? So you want to make sure you're asking questions. So that was a great question, Carl. Absolutely. Okay, so here's one. I like this question. Carl says, "How can I help someone who says they're just curious?" Right? Because you're gonna meet people that are not so excited about your offer. They're not gonna come and say, "Oh, I just need to do this. This is unbelievable. Sign me up." Some people, are just curious. So how do you deal with that? So I would love to hear everybody's perspective. Go ahead, Cornelia.
Yeah, I would say you have to start with truly being curious. I always talk about martial arts. Listen, My first karate instructor told us we have to leave our troubles at the door. When you're showing up, are you truly showing up and being curious about that person? Have you looked at their profile? Have you learned something about them so that you can bring real, genuine, authentic questions? They're just curious. They're trying to learn more about you. And that's great because you know what? I want to learn more about them. And I want many people knowing what I do. Today, it's not about who you know. It's about who knows you. What do you say, Godfather? How would you answer this incredible question?
It's a hard one for me, right? Because in my industry, like I say, either you are interested in books, either because writing one or selling one, and that's where the problem lies. That's what I can help you with. If you're just curious, I don't know where we're gonna go because genuinely I'm stuck. I if you have no interest in what I do, I don't know what you want to say, right? More likely than not, I would try and be your friend if you are showing interest in the book business. If you're not, look, I can give you information if call me when you're ready. Call me when you have more clarity. I can't help you today, right? I'm just being honest. Eric, what's a better way, my friend? What's a better way?
Oh, it is. Hey, honest, right? So what I would say, in my perspective, is some people, when they say they are curious, that is code for I don't trust you yet. I need to find out more. Right. So it's not like they're not interested, really. It's just that they don't want to commit to anything yet. Right. I don't want to commit. Right. I've had people book a call and they're like, I'm not interested in the coaching yet. I just want to talk to you. That's fine. And some of those people end up in my coaching. Right. It's because they don't want to commit yet. They want to find out more. So the way I look at it is, if you're curious, I'll meet with you and still help you. I'll help you. Because here's the thing, the number one way to prove to people that your offer can help them is by helping them in your discovery call. The number one way to show them that you can help them is by helping them in the discovery, helping them with something, give them some advice, right? Some advice, right? For Queen Leah, she knows a lot about wills and estates and all these things, right? She can give you a golden nugget whether you sign up or not, and you're like, wow, she really helped me, right? Now, chances are when you're ready to buy or to sign up, you're going to go to her because she helped you, right? Yeah. So that's how I would answer that. But I like it. You said, here's the thing. I love authenticity, and that's good. And he just told you, don't contact me if you're not serious. Just told you that, okay? But I understand because some can waste your time, right? They can have, so yeah. So that's my take on it. All right, so let's get welcome, Professor Roxanne. Good to see you. Welcome, Lisa. Good to see you. Welcome. All right. So Harumi, your questions are very detailed. So I don't know. I'll put it up there. But if you want, specifics on that, I can meet with you and tell you, specific questions to ask. But your question is, what are the right questions in terms of health and wellness and wealth business? Okay, so yeah, so we'll touch upon it. The right questions for the industry of health and wellness, and go ahead, Queen Leah.
I definitely think we need to hand this over to Mr. Eric, but I would add this is actually you got to very much look at when they draw in. I don't know how many times I watch a conversation and people change their energy and then the person who's presenting doesn't even address it. They just gloss right over it because the next thing in their presentation, they go right on and they continue what they're doing. We got to be really tuned in to when they are changing. When you see them act a different way, you're pushing that button. I want you to ask another question, drive that pain for deep. And then you're going to really find what we call the need behind the need, because they're all going to give you the superficial. We all say, oh, I'm just looking. Oh, I just came to this car place. I see you're having a sale, but I don't want to buy a car. We all know that we came there probably wanting to buy a car, right? So how would you answer this incredible question, Godfather?
It is a technical question for King Eric indeed, right? But look, For me, it's all about understanding what they're trying to do. Eric said, that's about their goals earlier. What are they interested in? What are they doing? What are they struggling with? Those are the right questions to ask. But you can't just lay them on. As soon as they appear on your Zoom call, you can't just say right. What are you interested in? Tell me now. What are you struggling with? And I say, let's learn to have conversations. When I say build relationships, I mean genuinely build relationships. See, I don't try and sell to anyone on the first time I meet you. I want to know what you do. I really want to know what your passions are, what makes you tick, right? It's only if I find that point of my maybe being able to help you with the problem you have, like writing books, publishing books, selling books, that I will say let's meet again. But I think that curiosity is the other way, Hirumi, right? It's about you being interested in who they are, what they do. In the conversation, in the wash, everything will come out, and then whether they're interested in. Of course, sometimes you have to get more specific about what you do, about health and wellness. What do they do? What have they tried? What's not worked? What do they try to achieve? Right, lose weight? Is it to get healthier? I'm saying you can go down the road you want to go down in good time, but first of all, just be curious who they are, and then see where that leads you. Eric, my friend, the technical side is always your business, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's interesting, but in order for me to answer your question, I actually have to know more about what you do. I really do, because it's such a broad topic, right? Health. Are you healthy or not? Like it's too broad. So yeah. So like I said, I'd be glad to meet with you one-to-one, help you out. Just click on compassionatecloser.com and book a call, and we'll chat. Okay. Great question. Great question. All right. So let's keep going. Let's see. Because I don't understand it. It's when one is having emotional. I don't think that's a question. So I mean, Charito, I don't know if I pronounced your name correctly. If you can phrase that in a question form, because it's more like a statement. So I don't. I want us to answer a question. So if you can just restate it in a question form, okay? All right, let's keep going. Let's see. We have. Okay, so this question, Coral, is about. Let's see. You said. Let's see. Let me click on that. Why it's not coming up? Okay. You said, is there a course or program that can help people with as well? There is, as a matter of fact. But you know what? I like the question, because I'm going to let Leah and Annie talk about that, right? Yeah. So that's a good question. So go ahead. You guys can talk about it, then I'll share.
Absolutely. You got to talk to Mr. Eric F. King. And let me just say this. When I took his class, I've been in the industry many, many years. I've taken many sales classes and read many sales books. So you're never done. And going through that process again, with his perspective, I was able to grab other golden nuggets. When we feel like we already learned it all, we're done, right? You're either growing or you're dying. How would you answer this incredible question, Godfather?
Queen Leah, I know a man who runs a compassionate closer program. See, before I met him, I too had been in business for maybe 8 years, 9 years, right? And you'd be amazed how it's our nerves. So like someone mentioned emotions earlier. It's our nerves that get the better of us. You don't, because we don't like being faced with sales situations. We really, it's uncomfortable. But so through Eric, it's only 6 sessions Eric provides. Of course, you have resources as well. And what I got in the sessions was practice of asking the questions, of going through, handling objections, practice of saying what your offer is. Because many people that I say don't know, they can't tell you what they do really. They can't say in a way that engages people, in a way that convinces you that it might have something important. But Eric teaches you all of that in very simple steps, and in a setting that is comfortable. It's the first time I've probably done role play in public. Really, since my school days. So this is an easy one. Look, contact Eric. Talk to him about his sales program, and see how that can transform your business. It transformed mine. Eric, you tell us about the program, man. Is it still 6 sessions?
Oh yes, yes. But actually, there's more now. There's more. So yeah, there's much more. I keep adding to it, and basically, in my program, you will learn how to how to ask the right questions. We talk about the questions, right? You'll learn about how to ask the questions. You'll learn how to the mindset of money, the mindset of sales, right? Because you have to have the right mindset before you even go into it, right? And then the conversation, right? You want to be able to lead a conversation that will help your client, right? And then you'll also learn how to close the sale without being pushy, right? What to say. Sometimes people just don't know how to say it or what to say, right? We talk about pricing. There's a lot of things that we get into. If you are interested in learning more, then just book a call. Go to compassionatecloser.com, book a call, and we'll go through and see if this is for you or not, right? We'll see if it's for you or not. But thank you so much. It's called Compassionate Closer Coaching Program. And that is my style. I believe in having compassion. I believe in helping people without being pushy or salesy. That is my style. So if you like the more aggressive type, then that's not me. There are people that do that stuff, but I'm not like that. All right. I want a situation where you make people feel comfortable when they meet you. And here's a test. Here's a good test. If someone meets with you and decides not to buy, do you change your demeanor? Do you look mad? Do you look upset? Do you want to get off the phone? If you change your demeanor, that means you never were there to help them in the first place, right? You have, when you're done, they have to feel that, wow, he really helped me, she really helped me, and when I'm ready, I'm going to call this person, right? That's how it should be. So you're building a relationship, and that's how I do it. When I meet with anybody, I'm building a relationship. Whether you buy or not, it's okay. I'm going to help you the most I can. Okay, so yeah, so I think we're winding down. Well, I'll put this one last question up, and then we can answer that, and then we will wind down for the day. Man, there's a lot of great nuggets today. A lot of great nuggets today. Okay, okay. So I thought I put the question up there. I guess I didn't. Hold on 1 second. Okay.
While you're doing that, Eric, I would really highlight what you said. That is so important. Don't just practice what to do when you're closing, but practice when people say no, when people don't like you, when people don't like your offer, they think it's too expensive, they think that you're terrible. How are you going to professionally and respectfully disengage? And I say, leave them with something, give them some value, send them some free information. Like, it may not be for them, and that's okay. Not every dollar is yours, but you always be courteous and professional, because I've watched people who just do weird things. So that cannot be underestimated, Eric. How can I stop feeling
Yes,
awkward when
yes,
talking about
absolutely.
money? Oh my God. This is so good. All right. Eric just alluded to this. It's the same thing when it comes to this point. I watch a lot of entrepreneurs have a great opening, they have a great presentation, they're charismatic, they're energetic. But when it comes to collecting the check, everything changes about them. Their tonality, their body languages, they start shaking. You feel trembling in their voice. You got to practice that too. You got to feel confident. It should just be like an ease and just a natural process to go right into it. In fact, if you do it properly, and I would ask your opinion, Eric, but when you do it properly, they already are asking you how much it is. And if you build up the value, build value, build value, build value, they're going to say, it's only that. Here you go. It's a no brainer. Makes total sense. How do you answer this question, Godfather?
And again, this is one of our biggest issues in business, right? Not talking about the number side of things. For me, I was had a story in my head, right? They can't afford it, so whatever I say is going to be too high. Oh, it's too expensive. No, look, everything comes down to your offer and your pricing, right? Now, these are things that we need to learn in business. If you price your offer in a way for your target market. I don't want to say price it low. I don't want to say price it high. Right? I'm saying you have to price for the market that is right. And if your price reflects the value you give, then you're halfway there, right? But trust me, some people there's just some people, whatever you say, if you say it was 10 pence, 10 cents in US, they'll still say it's too high. They'll still say, Eric, you heard this before. Best price, best price. You're like, no, that is a price, right? That's the price. But literally, I think it's for you to get for me it was for me to get confident with my pricing. And once I knew why I was charging what I was charging, then it's easy to know, and it's easy to just say it. But as Eric said earlier, you have to practice these things, right? You have to know. I had to practice saying what the price was without flinching, without suddenly, oh, the price is no. The price is, are you ready or not? Take your pick, right? You have to learn that confidence, and it's a mindset thing half the time, right? It really
Absolutely.
is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Those are great tips. Oh my goodness. Like, wow. All right. So let me give you a few of mine as we close out. Welcome, Mike LeBlanc. I see you there. Welcome. We see you. Daniel is here from Florida. Good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate all of you. Let's see. Olive Olivine, is it Olivine? Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you being here. All right, so talking about money. Well, first of all, when you are able to ask the right questions, find out what they want, give them a solution, then you're comfortable talking about money. Why? Because you've shown them that the value they're gonna get outweighs the price, right? The value they'll get outweighs the price. If you know your value does not outweigh your price, you will be very nervous. You will feel very awkward. Yeah. I'm gonna meet with you 2 times, and we're gonna talk about your problem, and it's $10,000. How would you like to pay? What? Are you kidding me? Right? So exactly, right? But if you know that your value is more than the cost, then it's not awkward. It's not awkward anymore. Okay, that's very important. Um, yeah. So again, and once you ask the right questions, it's not awkward because they know you care. You care. So that's really the bottom line. That's how you don't feel awkward doing so. Another thing too, I want you to realize that just because you may not have money doesn't mean everybody's broke, right? So Annie's mentioned something, and this happens to a lot of people. Like, oh, I don't want to charge people because what if they don't have money? Well, there are people out there that have the money if you have the value, right? If they have the money, it's not your job to determine who has it and who don't. You'll find out, right? Some do, some don't, and it's another reason why some people don't buy. Again, don't take it personally. Some will, some will, right? So, great question, great question. Let's see. Okay, everything's about rehearsing. Yes, yes, yes. Olivine, very, very right. Yeah, you're right. You have to practice, 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 practice. So one of the things we do in the coaching program is we do a lot of practice, right? We do a lot of practice. We actually do the role play sessions where I didn't even talk about that, where you talk about basically what you're selling, and I'm your customer, and you're selling me, and I tell you what you should say, what you shouldn't say, give you feedback, right? That is the best way. That is the best way. If you're doing any kind of sales coaching and it doesn't include that, then it's not giving you as much value as you can get, right? You want to do that. All right, so let's conclude here because we're at the bottom of the hour. It's great to be here with everybody. Great comments. I would ask that you share this, right? So take this recording and reshare on LinkedIn, share on Facebook, Instagram, wherever it is, so other people can see the kind of value that we give every morning, right? We are here every Monday morning, same time. Well, it may be afternoon for you, but same time, right? 7 a.m. Eastern time. And we've been doing this for over 2 years. So we didn't just start this. We've been doing this for a while. And we're going to keep doing it to keep helping people every single week. All right. So go out there and have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great month and have a great year. It has been a plum pleasing pleasure to be here with you today. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Okay. I guess it doesn't want. Okay.
We can keep Oh, you can do extra. We've